Hello, all you wonderful people out there. Thank you so much for joining me again on another Draw With Me type video. Let's get into it. I have a bunch of drawings prepared. I kind of like, getting into the mode of drawing without worrying about editing. And I think it's easier to watch as well, to just have it already drawn out. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you guys so much. We have reached over 100 followers here on the channel, and I'm super pumped about that. And I hope to get more of you on board. So I'm continuing on with the 50 heads challenge from Ahmed Aldori. So this is one of those. But I kind of got a little, not bored with it, but I just want to make sure that, because my goal is a comic book style and, warming up my hand to be able to draw everything I need to draw in a comic, I just want to make sure that I have ample references to go off of. So I've been making my own list on Pinterest with full body references, interactions, exteriors and interiors of buildings, and I'll probably add even more items, maybe even like cloth studies, like light studies, I don't know, just everything that I can possibly address so that I can have a convincing world. But this first one was pretty much my warm-up one. I decided to go bold with this lime chartreuse kind of color, which was really scary, but I think was a good choice. And then I went over with one of my favorite colors, it seems, is this grayish green, like kind of sagey. But then I didn't really know where to go from there. I guess I decided to do like a more fleshy tone, and this terracotta color tends to be my go-to. But yeah, for this one, it's definitely not simple, like how I have been telling you guys that I want to be more simple and loose. I think my instinct is to just go all out and do all I can, especially first starting off. So I just kind of blurred out, or like evened out the line, the hard edge of the terracotta with a lighter skin tone. And then I'm going in with this lavender for the shadow, the cast shadow. And then his beard had or mustache had like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing going on. So I added more base shadow. But yeah, so what helped me for this one, because I was saying that I'm going to add stories to my references so that it's easier for me to exaggerate features. And I was kind of thinking of like a computer hacker type character. Like, he doesn't get a lot of sunlight, his hair's greasy and spindly, and You know, he's got the bags under his eyes. And I think that's why I chose the chartreuse color. I wanted it like a kind of like an unnatural color showing on his face from computer screens. I guess I get that from the Matrix. It's like the main color in the palette besides red and blue. I use a lot of green. But yeah, I don't know how I was feeling about this. I was just kind of like, definitely not what my comic style is gonna look like. So this one was kind of a flop for me, stylistically, but just overall, I think it's a nice drawing. Going in with this Derwent Ink Tints color pencil, and these are watercolor pencils, and I knew they were because they have the little brush, but I was hoping they weren't. But when I got home, I was like, yeah, these are definitely water soluble, because they're so soft and so vibrant, which I love. But when there's a sharp point on them, you really have to have a super light touch and kind of just lightly go back and forth to create your line, if you're trying to be neat, because it will snap on you, and because they're so thick, the lead is so thick, it tends to skip when it snaps, and so you'll end up with like a really broken line or like jagged line on the paper. But yeah, I'm using a blue one, like a midnight blue color, and then a red color where the light is hitting. And then I wanted to up the shadows. With a blue and green combo. The lighter green is where there's some light hitting it, but not a lot. I kind of wanted to do even more to this drawing, but I didn't want to like spend any more time. I already spent way too much time on it at this point, in my opinion. But it's kind of interesting. And the good thing is I did take away from it that this lime color as a base, with the other skin tones I chose, would be a great combination to use on characters during during the golden hour, because that's what it looks like. It looks like it's golden hour and he's just got this nice warm sunset tone over him. Anyway, moving on. I'm keeping with the bold color choices in the beginning. So for this one, I decided to make her like some sort of villain. It was giving villain a little bit, like a tyrannical princess type of, or tyrannical queen, excuse me, kind of vibe. And I wanted to, because I exaggerated the top of her head being very bulbous and going into like a very smaller chin, I wanted to play up that the light wasn't really hitting the bottom of her as much. So I'm just going back and forth with purples and blues and pinks to achieve that ombre effect. Yeah, don't be afraid to like layer with these markers. You could end up with some really interesting looks. And then I didn't really know where to go from here, but I just chose blue. It seemed like it was the darkest color in the palette so far, so pretty safe bet to do the darks of the face. And then I'm going in with my other favorite color, which is this light blue, light grayish blue color, to kind of bridge the gap between the two. And because it's so light, I can really go in and, mess around with the tones and the placement of the tones that I want. So yeah, I cannot wait to get more pastel colors from my alcohol markers. Like, it's gonna be great. Going back in with the blue. You really do just have to trust the process with alcohol markers, because I mean, they do layer very well, but I guess if you're just going in super bold like this, you don't know how it's gonna end up. Like if I had chosen just like a brown for her skin tone, I probably wouldn't feel as nervous, because I'm like, oh yeah, brown is the skin tone, but that's normal. This is safe, but I would be bored and I wouldn't be getting the effect that I want. So I rather risk it. I mean, it's just a sketchbook, and I think the risk paid off, because this is one of my favorite ones in this session. This is like a wine color. I think that is what the color is called. Just going in, making her eyes more like a villain. And now I'm going in with terracotta, and it's so great. Like, I wasn't expecting, layered on top of the pink, for the terracotta to look like just this rich brown skin tone, but that's how it looks over the pink, and this was a great discovery. So I definitely will be using pink underneath my darker skin tone characters. So cool. Again, going in with a lighter color to bridge the gap. And this is like a lot of detail. I mean, I like how this one is more of like bolder design choices, so that I do really want to implement into my style. But it might be a little too much detail. But you know what? In closer up panels, I am going to need more detail. So maybe this is the level of detail for... Oh, okay. So maybe this is the level of detail for those kinds of panels where it's close-up shots. Okay, this right here, this was one of my favorite discoveries. So I bought this. This is another Derwent color pencil, Inktense, and it's this beautiful, beautiful chartreuse lime color. And it looks so good on the skin. Like, it just perfectly melted in. And I love how well it showed up on top, because I wasn't sure. Sometimes with lighter colors on top of darker colors, it doesn't show as well. But this definitely did. Now I'm kind of making her eyes like a little more creepy with strange colors. Now this was one of my favorite parts, the hair. It became more focused on a pattern, which I loved. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Braids are a pattern. Let me just really simplify this. And it was really cool. And I love hair that's blue black. I really love that look. Give her some pupils. And then I kind of wanted to do like some design choices with the red, but the red actually wasn't showing up as much. But yeah, I really like this one. For this next one, I tried to stick to a palette here, and I think I did, but I was too scared to go all out with that palette, so I didn't even really use the red like that. But this was my first time doing one of the references that I chose, which is a knight on a horse, and I really I do not draw animals, so this was a real challenge for me. It took me a while, and which is why I was like, you know what, let me not even try to post the drawing process, because it was extensive, especially with the legs. Oh my god. The legs took me the longest. And yeah. And also trying to simplify the face of the knight, because she's probably the smallest face I've done in here so far, but that's a lot of panels are gonna have smaller faces in them, so I'm like, okay, this is good practice for that. And yeah, so again, I'm going in with this grayish blue-green color for just like a basic establishment of all the shadows. But yeah, this was a lot for me. I definitely need to do more exercises like this, which I do have a lot more. I have like almost 100 pins coming, so this is going to be a long series to get to where I'm going. But I feel like I'm moving too slowly trying to like pinpoint exactly where I want all the colors to go. And as far as a character that I assigned this reference, it was pretty easy because of um, the character's already built in with the knight. But I added a story, which I really wanted to do that, add more of a story to get like a richer character design. Um, but I imagined this knight and her horse out searching in a foggy in a foggy forest for hours, for days, looking for someone who had escaped the castle. And they're hungry and they're pissed. Even the horse is invested because it's been a while, and the horse actually got bamboozled by said escapee. And I love in animated movies like in Disney and DreamWorks and stuff when they when the animal companion matches the mood of their owner, like, so they both have like this intense scowl on their face. They're both tired, they're both hungry, and they're both like just so ready to find this person. Then I wanted to establish a background. And I feel like I should have used black, but I'm always weary of using black in my designs because I'm like, do I need the black? But for this, it really would have made the character pop forward. But because I was pretty sure that I was going to use black to outline a lot of the character, I was like, well, let me not use black to do the background too, but I think it probably needs it. Or maybe I can go back in with a black color pencil to create some texture and depth without a solid marker color. I'm just trying to make her features pop. I'm like, this is so it's so tiny. And she's not really popping because of that. So I was like, yeah, the pencil does help, but I think I try to go in with a deep plum or purple color, and it's just not doing the trick. And sometimes that happens, but I rather go in with a lighter version and then see that it doesn't work before I just go in with black off the cuff. But But yeah, here's where I ultimately decide to just use black for everything because all the colors are actually pretty light. But I wish I had outlined a few more things in different colors, like the harness maybe could have been outlined in red, or I don't know, probably red would be the only color really. But yeah, just making the features pop. Doing some details. Details like this kind of make it seem like you've got a believable character from a specific world. And it was fun. I feel like adding the detail to the saddle kind of gave it a little something. And I keep this card in my sketchbook because there are a lot of times where I need a sharp edge, crisp line that I can't do on my own. And yeah, I'm going back in because I'm feeling like there needs to be some more depth within the horse, and I probably could have done more, but this is my first one, so I will get braver as time goes on. And I used a crayon. What are these called? I can't pronounce that. Neocolor to aquarelle oh my god. But it's a water soluble wax pastel. Anywho, moving on. This last one is definitely one of my favorites because I only used maybe like 4 colors for the marker part, and it's like very flat. I really enjoyed doing the character design for this. It was just some ninja girl, which again, it's easy to, create a character when, it's already built in with the occupation. So yeah, I went in with this like cream color, and then I chose some greens as the shadow, because the greens are like some of my favorite colors in my marker collection, and I really wanted to showcase them. I wanted to be a color that I liked, since it was mostly going to be one color. It's kind of a subtle green color. And then this brownish looking color is actually a bronze green. So still in the family. And then I'm using like a lime color, like a deep lime color, to deepen the shadows and like bring out some of her features. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and I feel like the way I've drawn it definitely reminds me of the artist that did Tech on Concrete. Oh my god, I'm terrible with names. Shinji Kimura. yeah, I have his art book. I was like, wait, let me just look at it. But yeah, those like very geometric character designs and just like very definitive but simple. I really, really, really like that, and I definitely want to implement that in my work as well. But yeah, then I chose like this nice warm reddish brown color pencil to do the outline. And I really like, I mean, it's so simple. I could do a whole comic like this, where I just do like a couple of colors, like a very simple color palette, and just establish 3 tones in one color. So I could do the highlight, the shadow, and then the like the color in between those two, and then choose an outline. I'm kind of interested in finding different color brush pens. Like maybe if I could find like a sienna brush pen or a red one, a blue ink one. I think that would be really cool to do a comic in varying inks and marker. But that's it. And then I added some black ink on her dart. And that's it. I think by the time I fill up the sketchbook, I will confidently be able to start working on my own original characters for this comic book. I'm also still in the writing process as well. I am currently reading a book on writing a story. Really reading a book on writing a script, but I feel like it still applies. Yeah, there are a lot of color combinations that I discovered in this and cannot wait to implement on the next page in different variation. And I can't wait to go all out and make mistakes and do too much and have to pull back. I feel like for this I was a little shy about that, because I didn't want it to go badly for this video. But I think I need to be a little more of a risk taker when it comes to this. I mean, after all, it is just a sketchbook, and I am trying to figure out what I want to do. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I am making weekly content just like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. I will update when I post a video on Instagram. It's the same handle, Amani Brooker Art, on everything. I did just make a Twitch account. I have not even opened it or looked at it, but I did make it because somebody in the comments suggested it. I do read my comments. I do take them seriously. And I appreciate all of you who have commented and subscribed and shared. And thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.